Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to the first podcast of Matters That Matter. I have a great pleasure to have a longtime friend of mine, Munisa Muhtarova, to to start off the Matters That Matter podcast. And I'll let her introduce herself. And today we'll be talking about whatever it is that matters to her. And I can guarantee you a very interesting talk. Munisa, over to you, please. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thank you, Inoyat Khan. It's a great pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation. I was honored to be the first guest of your podcast. I was thinking about the topic that matters to me since I received the invitation from you. And I thought I will present my ideas, my thoughts, my views on what makes a good person, because this is something that has been circulating in my mind lately. By nature,
Super.
I'm yeah, what makes a good person? I think every one of us, we from within, from inside of us, we always strive to be a good person. Whatever we do, whatever we say, our actions, we always strive to be exemplary person, probably in front of everybody, especially when we are outside in public. And that's
Mhm.
why I wanted to talk about this and bring some real life examples from my
Mhm.
observations. By nature, I'm an observer, and by profession, I'm an educator. Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I consider
Uh-huh.
myself an educator. I have 20 plus years of teaching experience. I'm the Dean of School of Arts and Humanities at Tashkent Metropolitan University now. Before that, I worked as a Dean of School of Arts at Akfa University for quite a while, and before that, I worked at Tashkent. Anyways, I the whole life I worked as a teacher, as an educator. I train people, teachers, educators across the country as well. So I observe people mainly, and my observations usually happen every day because I walk a lot. My husband and I, we have the tradition of going out in the evenings and go for a walk in the evenings, and that's when I usually observe people, how they behave, how they communicate with one another, how they engage with other people in public. And this is a great time to reflect upon own behavior, own actions, and also assess other people's behavior. And I really sometimes get frustrated from how people um, react to situation, or how people show themselves in public. And that's why I wanted to bring this to the attention of the audience today. What makes a good person? And before we start, I wanted to define this phrase of a good person, because it's a really subjective concept, and everyone
Mhm.
understands good from own perspective. Good person to me may not be good enough for
Mhm.
you, for example, right? So
Right.
goodness, I think, is seen in patience. So someone who's patient, I believe, um, can be a good person. And goodness is seen in kindness. And those people who have really harnessed their anger, their rage, I think this would be one of the signs of a good person, kind person. And another factor of a good person, I believe, is um, um, of someone who is not lazy. Laziness is not a good sign.
Mhm.
And the fourth one is the self-consciousness. People who are aware of own actions, who hold accountability for own behavior, who reflect upon own conduct. Those people can be a good person. So, anyways, these are, I believe, the factors of someone who really is a pious, not pious, the good person to me. And I'll
So
be,
the patience,
yeah,
the second is.
patient, anger
Uh-huh,
management, someone who really manages
mm-hmm,
anger, and
uh-huh.
someone who's not lazy and
All
self-conscious
right,
of their actions.
great. Thank
Yeah.
you. Uh-huh.
And I'll be bringing some examples why I believe these attributes are really important to become someone who is really a decent person. You know,
Great.
we don't
And
have
before we,
to. Yeah.
sorry, before I continue, I would assume you also observe thousands and thousands of your students in the auditorium. You've taught how many of those, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just
Yeah, all
them
ages. I
walking.
observe all people of
Right.
all ages. Yes, when I'm in the auditorium, when I'm in the lecture hall, I observe my students, how they communicate, how they behave. And when I'm outside, you know, in public, I can observe other people, including the adults, not only the youth.
Mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm,
and why patience and kindness and not lazy, being lazy and self-consciousness, because these are each of these attributes, they are closely related to those um, um, malicious behavior. If you're not patient, you're doing really um, unthoughtful things. So, for example, if you're not kind enough, if you're not self-conscious of your actions, then these are the things that will really show you from the negative, or yes, negative. They will give you the others the negative impression of you because of the actions that come out of this. So, anyways,
mm-hmm,
um, we don't have to be superheroes. We don't have to rescue the humanity, from aliens, let's say. We don't have to stop the tornadoes, right, in order to be a good
mm-hmm,
person. Um, Really, just simple, small things we can do on our day to day lives to make our own um, and other people's lives better, to make this world better. So, for example, um, when I'm, let's say, out for a walk yesterday, this is what happened yesterday we are walking in the street,
mm-hmm.
um, and there is a
You
guy,
and your.
husband. Yeah, my husband and I, we usually walk
Right.
every day in the
Mm-hmm,
evening after dinner. That's the tradition. That's our time. Without the children, this is the time where we can talk about our day. We can talk about our children. We can make plans for the future. This is our, really our couple time. So we don't want to give up on
right,
this,
right.
and we every day
Yeah,
stick to this tradition, and we go
that's
out for a walk.
admirable. That's very
Yes, thank
admirable.
you.
That's why I wanted the audience know about this tradition of yours, which I
Well,
admire, and
I would
maybe.
encourage
Yeah.
everybody. I
Mhm.
would encourage everybody to do the same thing. If they are married, they can go out with their spouses. If they're not married, they can go out with their siblings or parents. This is really a good time to reflect, to observe other people, to, just contemplation time. So, yesterday, basically, we were walking, and I saw a guy who is parking his car right in front of the pedestrian walkway, blocking the way for the pedestrians. It appears that he came to a um, nearby supermarket, and he couldn't find an empty lot for parking. And without a second
Mhm.
thought, without giving a second thought, he's just parking, blocking the pedestrians walkway, you know and
Mhm.
everybody else, all the pedestrians, they'll have to go round the car. This is such an unthoughtful action.
Mhm.
I believe this is not the how you should behave in public. You cannot really violate other people's territories, other people's rights by doing that. You are just
Right.
um, thinking of your own comfort, like whatever it takes, whatever it takes. As long as you find a spot, you park your car and you go inside and do your shopping. And these kind of situations that I observe and really irritates me, and I want to wait until the driver comes back and really talk to the person. But fortunately, with yesterday's situation, he was just parking, and as we were walking down the walkway, the pavement, and the guy who usually helps with
Uh-huh.
parking, he saw my face, I guess. I think I gave this very unpleased, unhappy face that he saw me, and he immediately reacted to this, and he told the
All right.
driver. Another thing that happened was a few years ago. A few years ago, um, the city administration, they did a great job with um, renovating a public alley, a public place, and they built nice, beautiful playgrounds for children in that alley. It's in Tashkent City. It's a Blue Dome area. I'm sure you know that area. And they renovated beautifully that Blue Dome area. That's a nice alley. And then they built, I think, two very big playgrounds for children. And we used to take our children there a few years ago. And it was beautiful. It was free of charge. It was for public, every day accessible and available for children there, for public. And I was very happy that they could make this kind of a place. Usually playgrounds are not free. They are within the parks. They are they have fees usually. So this was a really great idea, and we loved it there, and we used to go there every day. And after going there for a couple of times, I saw um, some of the swings broken. I don't think children could break that every time, and we used to take our children there quite often. It was very lovely there. And after several visits, I found out that I see um, a swing broken. And children
Right. Right.
couldn't have done that. It's not the deed of a child, because it was meant that that swing was
Mm.
meant for children. And it's so sad that adults, maybe young adults, maybe teenagers who are not supposed to be even in that playground, they come in the evenings, maybe at night, because it's all time available. It's open. It's an alley. It's not a closed territory. So they go in and they hang out there with friends. Maybe I don't know, they chat, they smoke, but they get crazy and they start ruining and destroying the public property. It's really unfortunate, that we have such people among us that really um,
Mm-hmm.
um, cannot show better behavior. That's why I'm saying, if you want to be a good person, just really small things. Do not destroy what is beautiful. If you cannot build, at least do not destroy.
Right.
You know, um,
Mm.
for example, those big flower pots from made of concrete. At the end of two, let's say pavements, so that cars don't go in. Can I? You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. Those big flower pots from concrete. Usually they
Right.
block with
That
those.
block the road.
Yes, yes,
That
really
block the
heavy.
road for the
They are
cars.
from concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. And I sometimes see those kind of flower beds um, fallen and broken. And who would do that? I
Oh,
mean, somebody strong
right.
should have kicked it.
They
And
are
I don't
very
know.
heavy.
Yes, it's
Yes.
hard to move, hard to even do anything with those because they are from concrete. And I see them lying broken, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
I really question myself, who would even think of doing this? Why would people do that? You know, there are tons of examples of this sort. Just recently, they are building like Honsaroy. I don't want to make an advertisement, but that's the company that built a house nearby my apartment, and they made a beautiful entrance, outside in the street. It's a street area, so where people walk. And for people, they created a place to sit down. They placed the benches, nice benches.
Mm-hmm.
They made a small play area for children, for families with little children, where they can walk barefoot. Because they placed a lawn, an artificial lawn there. And I walk past by that place, and I see it's literally a new place. It's been only 2 days that they arranged that. And then I see people sitting on the bench, enjoying, having fun, talking. But then I see some of the trash, the plastic
Mm-hmm.
water bottles, the napkins,
On the
other
ground.
things, not on the ground, but stuck inside the benches.
Oh my. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness, that's so frustrating. If you want to
Mm-hmm.
be a good person, you don't have to build a mosque.
Right.
Don't, I mean, don't show your piousness by covering yourself up. I don't know, going to Juma and all those things. But of course, you do all these things as well. But along with these things, please do these little things. Be self-conscious of your actions. Try to look at yourself from a side and assess what you are doing, whether it's right or wrong. Do not leave your trash behind. This is just a simple thing, simple etiquette that you can learn or acquire. I don't know. So I wanted to bring this up to the attention of audience. Please, yeah.
Right. 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 How to because I'm sure they've heard of it many times, and like I myself, whenever I would see that type of behavior, I would always come up and talk about it. I made people pick up their trash several times at least,
Yeah, you
uh,
don't see
and take it
them
with them.
doing that always. For example, I don't see them doing that. I just walk by that beautiful place, and I see the trash in between those
Right.
benches. Say, I don't see the people there, but I see the trash
Mhm.
that they left behind.
So,
And
how is this problem can be addressed? What do you think? What could be the solutions? I have some ideas. This topic is also very close to my heart, and um, I have
yeah,
some ideas. I want to hear from you first.
yeah. Of course, there is a solution. But when I'm outside and I eat something, and I have some trash in my hand, I carry it till I see the trash bin. I carry
Hmm.
it till I see where I can, the area that is designated for trash. I never
Hmm.
throw it. I carry it, and I make my children carry their trash. I really get mad if my
Hmm.
own children, even if it's a tiny bit, I don't know, if it's a
Hmm.
the lollipop stick, even if it's that small
Hmm.
thing, I still ask them to carry. Parents with little children, they should have a plastic bag with them, a bag, whatever bag it is, plastic or paper, it doesn't matter, to keep their children's trash with them until they come to the trash bin. They shouldn't be throwing out the trash. This is our city, this is our face. I mean, we should keep it clean. Why you don't trash your home, why you go out to trash the city, you know and also, those people who are throwing the trash out of the car, it's another it's another level of
Hmm.
um,
You see,
uh,
I learned right being I don't know rude to say the least, level of rudeness or level of
yeah.
um right.
um,
Because
невежество,
I
I forgot the word,
uh-huh.
uh,
It will being irresponsible, being
yeah, let's say that.
selfish, or everything that's bad, really. Like you said, that behavior.
Can't even come up with
And
a word to explain that
right.
particular behavior. It's a really bad behavior.
Uh-huh.
Um, but these are the
There's
things
a
that require not much effort, to fix. Not
mm-hmm,
much effort to
mm-hmm,
fix. You don't have to go over your skin to do something really beyond your power. All you need to do is
mm-hmm,
just keep your trash to yourself. Just keep it until
mm-hmm,
you find a trash area, trash bin, and throw it
Mhm.
there. Why would you throw it out of your car? Why would you
Right.
throw it out in the street? You know?
Right. And just before we keep going, I wanted to make one remark. You're talking about religious people um, who, let's say, supposedly follow all the scripture. They pray,
Yes.
they try to communicate with God, etc. And that's only because it's the majority of people in Uzbekistan. I just wanted to note that you're not implying that it's only those people going around and doing these
No, no,
things,
no, no, no,
because
not
I've
only.
seen, we all have seen plenty of other people who may not be religious, who may not be Uzbeks, and it was not very long time ago when I myself caught two teenagers, and they were not Uzbek, they were not Muslims, and well, it didn't end well, but I hope at least they have they got this understanding that it's not correct to do this. That they were leaving exactly how you described their trash behind. And when you mentioned people throwing things out of their cars, and I realized there's a misconception in a lot of people that say uh, they throw fruits and vegetable like peels, saying, "Oh, this will biodegrade in the fields in on land." And from what I read, I guess last year, that's also very bad for the environment. They don't easily, how to say, dissolve in nature, and we shouldn't be throwing away even. There's a saying in some people use, whatever comes from nature can go back to nature. Absolutely not. Turns out that shouldn't be happening either. That needs to go to trash bins, designated areas, as you said. And also, I used to blame the local governments a lot, saying that we don't have enough trash bins, they should be in every place. Uh, but then I recently was reading or watching about Japan, where they don't have many of those bins. They do exactly what you describe. They take their trash with them. They have special trash bags for pretty much every different type of trash. They pick it up, they take it around with themselves and throw it away only in designated areas. So there are not many trash bins outside. I learned you really have to look hard to find those. But until you find them, you always carry it around with you, just like you said. So yes, absolutely.
Right.
So
Yes, you're right. And yeah, Japan can be one example. Another example would be the Emirates, United Arab Emirates. There, they don't have trash bins in the street. They don't
I
have trash
didn't
bins.
know.
And I was really surprised. Like, not a
Uh-huh.
single trash bin I spotted when I traveled there. Um,
Wow.
and I was surprised why not. And I believe one reason would be like because of the heat, because of the climate, not very many people walk outside, but even those who walk, they don't really throw out the trash, you know. That's why they don't have. And I was also, just like you, I was also thinking maybe the city administration, they really need to think about placing all these
Mhm.
trash cans everywhere, so people will not have to carry their trash with them, and the bins will be available in every place. Um, but then I came to a conclusion that those placing trash bins is everywhere is not a good idea, because
Mhm.
it's not really aesthetic, for people who are walking. Everywhere you will see the
Mhm.
trash bins filled
Mhm.
with trash. It's not beautiful. You don't want to see that. And the second reason is that there should be somebody who's cleaning up the trash bin. That someone should be hired to clean up the trash bin. And
Right.
the city is big, and there will be lots of
And the
people.
logistics,
Yeah,
right? Coming to pick
logistics.
that up to that spot and
It's
taking
much
it, right?
easier to train and educate people not to
Yeah.
trash the
Mhm.
city.
Mhm.
carry their trash with them. And I don't believe that they will have to be, even so, they will have to be carrying a lot of trash. Usually, what? Just a small piece of, I don't know, the chips packet, or I don't know, a few maybe napkins. That's it. We don't usually trash a lot. Maybe water bottles, empty water bottles,
Mhm.
and that's it. That's something that very light that you can carry with you
Mhm.
until you find a place. And what is more disappointing, in one case, I saw even trash left on a bench where, which is located next to a trash bin. Can you believe it?
Oh.
People sit down,
Oh.
they eat,
Uh-huh.
they
Uh-huh.
drink, they
Mhm.
enjoy their time there, and they don't
Right.
even go extra mile. Like they don't even try to put it right
Right.
into the trash bin next to the bench.
So that
I don't
proves sort
know.
of it really is a behavior problem.
Yes, it
Right.
is. It has nothing to do with the
Right.
bins, you know. So
Mhm. Mhm.
this is another,
Mhm.
that's why I was thinking, like, so many behaviors of people that I observe really irritates me, and not very much effort can be done to fix this. We all we need to
Mhm.
do is to be self-aware, self-conscious of our actions. Like, and when you said, you noted well, in Uzbekistan, majority people are really pious. We are
Right.
yeah, we're not religious country, but we do
We try to
pray.
be pious, let's
Yes,
say.
we try to follow
Uh-huh.
the teachings of Islam, the religion of Islam, and we usually, majority people, they pray, they go to visit mosques, and Juma days, Fridays are big
Right.
days,
Mhm.
and people, while they pray 5 times a day, while they visit Jumas, while they try to follow all the teachings of um, Islam, not all the main
Mhm.
teachings of Islam, they visit Hajj,
Mhm.
they Umrah,
Mhm.
they cover, women cover
Mhm.
themselves, men grow their beard, right? And they forget about doing those little things, which
Mhm.
add up
Mhm.
to a
Mhm.
big problem, which add up and
Mhm.
make turn into a huge problem. Yes, you
Mhm.
can be pious. We can pray 5 times a day, but then after praying, we go out and trash, we go out and lie, we go out and gossip, we go out and mock other people and laugh at other people. We are angry at people. We fight. We curse and all sorts of things. If we do, then
Mhm.
what's the purpose of being pious?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
That's why I was trying to say that we don't try to do big um, things, just from small things. Try to fix. Let's try to fix ourselves. Let's
Mhm.
be patient. Let's control our anger. Let's be
Mhm.
industrious and get rid of laziness. Let's be self-conscious of our own actions, of our own conduct. These are the things that I wanted to bring, and I have lots and lots of other examples that
Mhm.
I could really talk about on and on, um, um, like for example, making other people wait. This is another
Right.
malfunction.
In
I'm sure
queue.
you can
Uh-huh.
relate to this. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm, as a person, a very punctual person. So whenever even to the just the girly outings, I try to come on time. But even as if I'm going to a meeting or something. um,
Uh-huh.
so I think it's in our veins, in Uzbek cultures, veins, where
Mhm.
we tend to make people wait. If the meeting is organized, let's say to 11 o'clock, we can come at 11:30, close to 12. Um, also, also there are some people who, the moment they find out your weakness, they will be in every possible moment to mention that to you. This is another thing that we really need to fix in ourselves. For example, if somebody is struggling to have to have a child, let's say, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are people who will be like, really, have you done this? Have you tried this? Well, you should see the doctor. I'm sure those people are going out their way to
Mm-hmm.
and doing all the possible, taking all the possible chances, to visit the doctors, to do everything to have their
Mm-hmm.
child, their first child. But
Mm-hmm.
no, those people, they always try to come as if they are helping, as if they are
Right.
being
Right.
a friend or something. But they don't realize, or maybe they do realize and they do this deliberately, which is even worse, you know.
Right. Right. Like you said, there are many, many. How to say? There are many um, parts or ingredients, or how can we call it? There are many facets of being a good person. There are many directions that we can take and talk about, as you said, giving hundreds of examples. But I really love that you touched upon mostly on like behavior towards these small things as you mentioned them. I like how you call them small things. Yes, it's we shouldn't be negligent. We should be very serious, especially this time and age where environmental problems are causing so much harm. We are today, for example, in this crossroad of this global warming. I believe the United Nations recently announced it's not global warming anymore, it's global heating or global boiling. So all of this contributes to it, and we should
Yeah.
be even more careful than ever. So I want to ask you this last question, um, and then talk about that idea that I mentioned earlier. Where do we start? So I'm sure you inspired many. You will be inspiring many listeners with your passionate talk about the subject. Yes, we should keep talking. We should keep mentioning this. um, what else, what can be done to take this message, I guess, to the masses, to make it more effective? Do you have some ideas on that?
Yeah, the number one thing is always reflect upon your own
Mm-hmm.
actions. Always try to look at yourself from the side. This is a good actually practice, which will help you to see yourself from the side. Whatever you're saying, what was it really a good thing to say?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
is it a good thing to? Sometimes people, yes, there are people who do the wrong things deliberately, but we hope that our in our audience there are the people who usually don't do, because as humans we are prone to make mistakes. It's totally normal. We do mistakes every day. But the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
it makes us humans. Like a good person is that we try to fix those mistakes. We try to look back and say, oh, this wasn't a good idea. Let me do,
Mm-hmm.
next time I should be careful about saying this or doing this kind of thing. And yes, reflection is number one thing, I think, in moving towards betterment, improvement, in improving ourselves. For example, another minor thing is like with global warming, with water shortage, in our country that is going to happen. We are really, I think, having a huge
Mm-hmm.
issue. We are going to have a huge issue with water. The government already started making announcements about not wasting water, about fining people if they are gardening their watering their garden with drinking water. Regardless, I see
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people watering their gardens. They neglect.
Mm-hmm.
They're so negligent about who says what says. All they
Mm-hmm.
care is about their own self. So selfish.
Mm-hmm.
And teaching children to let's say, to not waste water while brushing the teeth. Sometimes
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Small
water,
things, like you're saying.
small things, really small things, but will turn
Mhm.
into a big thing when they add up. you
Right.
know Let's
Right. Exactly.
Yes, let's try to fix our own actions, small piece by small piece, one step at a time, and we'll get there. It's all about people being aware of their own actions. We have to look back and say,
Mhm,
"Oh, is this something like before, let's say, breaking the public property, let's say the playgrounds, is this something
mhm,
that will be beneficial for people? It wasn't your money which you spend, it wasn't meant for you. You're not supposed to be doing these things. Like, really, we have to be
mhm,
self-conscious of our actions and try to fix ourselves with before we start fixing other people, um,
mhm, mhm.
in our society, it's so easy to try to fix other people. We see yeah, we see other people's faults and mistakes, and we do rush to fix them. But really, let's start
Mhm,
fixing our own
mhm.
mistakes.
Behaviors, right? Great. This idea that I've talked to many people already since several years now. So when I also was passionately thinking about all these things, to me, the number one solution, of course, there are many ways. Like you could talk about this, you could create um, uh, PR activities on TV. There is this Earth Day where teams go to clean up the mountainous areas. That's another sad story where people go camping or just hiking and they leave
Yes,
trash in the
exactly.
mountains.
Yes,
That's another
exactly.
sad story, right? But also, I tend to believe that the core problem is that it's very hard, like you said, to change the mindset of an adult person. The core, I think, should start with the children in kindergartens, in preschools, where they have this fully fledged curriculum, a course, or included in the curriculum, a lesson on the environment, and on which also touches upon other good behaviors that you mentioned. And a friend of mine gave me a book that's called uh, "What If Everybody Did That." I forget the author's name, but I will place a link under this podcast on YouTube. What if everybody did that? It starts. This boy. It's it's I don't know, maybe 20 pages of actions. This boy, the main character, he shows different scenarios, just like you're saying, with small things adding up. And what happens if everybody starts doing it? I think the very first page talks about, he says, we took a trip to see my grandparents, and on the way, I threw trash out of the window, out of our car's window, and the patrolman stopped us, and he asked me, "What if everybody did that?" And then on the other side of the page, you see uh, a huge road, the lawn, and full of trash. It's full of
Yeah,
trash. It's an ugly scene. So if
yeah,
everybody did that, this place would turn into this. And then it goes on and on and on. It's like another example, pushing the shopping cart in a supermarket. He says, I wanted to take a couple, strolls, and I pushed myself in the cart to have fun. And then the store manager stopped me and asked me, "What if everybody did that?" And then on the other page, you see all the people crashing into themselves, all the groceries in the supermarket going
yeah,
in the air, a chaos. So
yeah,
it's my dream to have. It could be that exact book translated, or it could be an original piece of work where it's taught to children in simple terms, in simple words and photos, just like in this book, that it's not okay. It's like you said, it adapts. If one person does it and says, "Oh, it's just me, no one's doing it," yeah, you don't see it, but someone is doing it, and at the other time, on the other side of the road, maybe. So, and yes, it is up to catastrophic events, and like you said, it makes things break. It makes uh, for sad scenarios, and etc. It's harms the nature, etc. So that's really my idea, that it should be strongly embedded into preschool and school curriculums, this very topic. So
Yeah.
hopefully get better.
Yes, yes, you're right. And in the elementary, my son, my youngest, is
Uh-huh.
in the elementary level. He studies in elementary. And I think they have added something like ethics and aesthetics or something into the curriculum of the elementary level children. And I think I saw
Yes.
the picture
Odop
images where
Noma, it's the
the basic rules of etiquette. They how to people should say please and thank you. They should be polite, they should be kind, how to address elderly, and so on and so forth. They have it, but I think we should do more. We should add more content to the curriculum with these kind of examples. And Edwan, can you hear me?
yes, Municipal.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
Okay, so and
Yes.
also with the shopping carts as well. This was another example that I forgot to mention. People
Uh-huh.
just
Uh-huh.
so unthoughtful when they come out of the
Right.
supermarket with their shopping cart full of
Uh-huh.
items, and then they bring the shopping cart to their car. They load their car
Uh-huh.
and they leave the carts there where they left. They,
Uh-huh.
let them wander in the wind and blocking the way and so on and so forth. And there are some people who would probably take the cart and bring it to the stall, the cart stall. Those random people,
Mm-hmm.
those
Mm-hmm.
random people, to fix the situation. But then not very many of those kind of people. Yeah, to conclude, I just want to say one more
Sure.
time that a good person, to be a good person, we don't have to put on a cape and try to save the world single-handedly.
Right. Right.
Rather, rather, it's about embracing the power of small acts of kindness, honesty,
Mm-hmm.
and compassion, and patience. And there's a respecting other people around us, not only thinking of ourselves, being selfish about our own um, uh, benefits, but also
Mm-hmm.
try to think about not violating other people's right as well, especially in public. And we have to strive to
Absolutely.
do the right thing every day and everywhere. We have to at least try to refrain ourselves from engaging in wrong, because, as I said, we are prone to do the wrong things. We do the wrong things on a daily life, but at least we should be aware. We should question ourselves. We should try to not only educate children but also educate the adults
Of
as
course.
well.
Of course. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Munisapa. This has been very inspirational to me because um, it gets tiring, it gets exhausting, it gets sometimes stressful, that you may think you are alone in this world, trying to fight for these causes, but then
Yeah.
when you know that you have like-minded people and that you're not the only one, I love it. I get inspiration from people like
Yeah,
you,
exactly.
and
We're not alone in Hayatron. We're not alone.
right.
This is the good news. The good news is we're not alone. There are people, many people.
Yes.
We have many
Yeah.
people. Just we have to unite and start educate. And
Exactly.
yes, bring this into the attention of all.
Great.
Shouldn't be tired
So,
of.
right. So that is why I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
again for being the special number one guest, the very first guest of this podcast. And then hopefully we'll continue the same spirit, having many, many more guests who are passionate about the cause, that talk about matters that matter to them, and also others. And hopefully, we'll not hopefully, I'm kind of 99.99% sure that I will ask you again to come back. And hopefully, we'll see you soon. We'll hear from you soon again. Thank you so much, despite your busy schedule, for being here with us today.
Oh, thank you,
Thank you.
Antoine, for inviting me. I was honored to be your very first guest, and I wish good luck to this project. It's a very good cause,
Thank
and
you.
I hope you will have more and more people in your audience. And will be another way of educating people and bringing all different issues to their attention. So, thank you for having me. It was a great pleasure.
You're very welcome. Thank you too. All right, listeners, thank you for being with us, for listening, and hopefully we'll see you, talk to you, hear you again soon. Bye bye. Bye bye, Munisapa.
Bye. Thank you.